Okay guys, great job. We're through the semi-finals yet again in the final four here of the Champions League. We have this team from France. We haven't played them before. They're called PSG. They kind of look like the French version of us, so I think we'll be fine. They finished below Arsenal in their group, so I'm sure they're not that strong. Let's go through, wipe these guys out and make another final. Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 154 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode is the semi-final of the Champions League for 2034. We are taking on Paris Saint-Germain for the first time in this save, and hopefully we can get through this and take on one of Manchester United or Arsenal in the Champions League final in tomorrow's episode. So if you are looking forward to this one, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But here are the semi-finals off the back of what we did at the end of last week in the quarters against Bayern. If you missed those episodes, or at least the most recent of those, I'll leave a link to that one over in the top right corner. We did also talk about some players that we might look to offload at the end of this European season, at the end of that most recent episode as well. So if you missed that and are interested, go check that one out. But we're through the semis, taking on PSG for the first time in this save. These guys are absolutely wiping the floor with League. Oh, they have already wrapped up the title with a lot of time remaining in that domestic season. 5-star facilities for the most part, as well as a reputation. Very rich club, of course. And they have a decent looking team there. Looking at their tactics, albeit that did look a little bit different when we checked in on that last time, so that might be the team that they used in their most recent League game instead of what they are going to use against us for this upcoming Champions League semi-final. Probably more notable there are the players who are featuring down on the player stats, likes of Dusan Vlahovic, Alex Mariba, and the likes of those players. They certainly have some very good players amongst that squad there at PSG, albeit, as we saw at the end of last week, yet again might be a team who are getting on a little bit in age compared to what we do have here at the moment at Volsungur. And just a quick reminder at how they are doing domestically. I said it before, they are absolutely destroying the rest of their rivals over in League O, which means that they have had the chance to focus on this Champions League semi-final rather than the domestic competitions as well. So they are probably quite a dangerous opponent, albeit back in the group stages they did get beaten to top spot in their group by Arsenal, and we beat Arsenal last season in the Club World Cup. So hopefully that means that we can get the job done here against PSG going into this game. Unfortunately though, we are going to be missing one of our players, one of our starting players as well, a Frenchman, and that is Kenny Boreal. He has twisted his ankle. He is out for 2 to 4 weeks, so it's probably not going to feature in either of the games in today's episode, but this is a good test for what we might look to do come the start of the next European season, because that means that Luis Herrera will get the spot at left back for these games against PSG, unless Kenny Boreal does recover for that second leg. The very promising Mexican left back, he needs to do a job for us today, and if he does, hopefully that bodes well for what we might be looking to do come the start of the next European season and introduce some new young blood into this lineup, which has been pretty solid over the past few seasons of the save. That also means that Stamatis Tsatsarkas comes onto the bench as left back up instead of Herrera with that injury to Kenny Boreal. But apart from that, we are at full strength. Ian Carlo on the bench to cover right back, and Elias Anderson at centre back, as we mentioned late last week, in place of Gaetano Deprisco. But everyone else in the usual spots as they have been for most of this Champions League season. And hopefully we can do a decent job yet again here in the first leg away from home to take back to Laugarda for the second leg. But we'll get straight into the action today. We'll come back shortly from the Parc des Princes to take on PSG in the first leg of this Champions League semi-final. And here are the team sheets for this first leg in France. There is what the full-strength PSG team does look like. Almost looks like London Saint-Germain with the likes of Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, and of course Martin Odegaard in that lineup. But it is a very strong team, albeit, as I said though, a team which is getting on a little bit in age these days. There is our team as we ran through before. We are in the white, PSG in the blue as we kick this one off. And only 3 minutes into this one, the first highlight is a throw, and it is just inside the opposition half for us here as Louis Herrera tries to get something going. Chaka Traore, nice ball over there for Saki. It's some good short passing, great chance there for Nicholas Zimmerman to open the scoring nice and early. Unfortunately though, that comes off the post, but a good early chance. It will remain 0-0 here after 3 minutes. And just shy of the 20-minute mark for our next highlight, yet again we are in possession, albeit this time a little bit deeper than last, but so far an encouraging start to this game based on the highlights that we are seeing. Adam Saki, nice ball here for Lassana Doumbia, yet another good chance there for a Frenchman against PSG, but this time hits that pretty much straight into the path of Donnarumma, who makes a decent save, and then a great chance for Rakassan after we put some pressure on the PSG defence, but unfortunately it's a weak shot, so some good chances for us here in the early parts of this tie, but it is still 0-0 about halfway through the first half. And we go forward now to the half-hour mark, down the other end for a PSG corner. They go far post, and Luka Sukic is able to put that in the back of the net. That time I think it was Lassana Doumbia who didn't quite get up and challenge the PSG centre-back, and just like that, with their first real attacking threat so far in this game from a set piece, they put that in the back of the net. Not the greatest positioning there from Will Lurvik or Levan Tam on the line there, so that goal could certainly have been avoided, but PSG strike first with 10 minutes left in the first half. And we go forward about 8 minutes off the back of that opening goal, and PSG getting on the front foot here as they have a throw, and Bukayo Saka makes his way down the left-hand side, puts the ball into the mixer, albeit cleared away from Chaka Traore, but not very far. Hakimi gets them back in possession. Brunei in there for Vlahovic, who will sweep that home. We'll just wait and see here what VAR has to say. Hopefully he was offside, but I don't think it was the case. And just like that, after a really encouraging start, a couple of good chances which we didn't take. Indeed, the goal has been awarded. And just like that, we are in a bit of trouble here away from home in the first leg, already 2-0 down, not too long before half-time. Good ball in there from Brunei, and Vlahovic just sweeps that home inside that near post. 2-0 PSG with about 7 minutes left in the first half of the first leg. And we go forward a few minutes off the back of that second goal. We are back down the other end for a throw, which Declan Rice playing at centre-back deals with, but Louis Herrera is there to tidy things up. Hopefully we can strike back very, very soon and get our way back into this tie. 2-0 would be one heck of a deficit to try and overcome back in Iceland, even with our form so far this season. Kalen Rakassan tries to square that for Adam Saki, can't quite find him. Donnarumma will clear that, but Ramadan is there to tidy things up, and we are back on the attack. Nicholas Zimmerman will this time put that in the back of the net. Had a very good chance early where he hit the post, but this time puts that bottom right corner, albeit yet again we are waiting for a VAR check, so we'll just hold off on the celebration somewhat. But Michael Oliver awards the goal, and we are back in this one just shy of half-time after some good pressure, and we put the ball in the back of the net. Nice pass there from Chaka Traore, and Zimmerman just does enough to get that one past Donnarumma. 2-1 PSG late here in the first half of the first leg. And it is half-time here in this first leg of this Champions League semi-final. We do trail 2-1, but we really had some good chances early on there in that first half. We probably should have this game locked up. PSG very clinical with their chances. We've had less chances, but they've been very good chances. Thus why the XG is quite similar. Quite happy with how we're playing. We'll tell the boys, though, they can certainly do a little bit better. No changes, though, just yet at halftime. We'll save all 3 subs for the second half as we try and come back from being 2-1 down. And we've gone forward about 10 minutes in the second half. No highlights in it yet, but PSG starting to get on top of us a little bit more in terms of stats. So we'll do what we did last week, regroup instead of counter press, and see if that changes anything. Still 2-1 with about a half hour left. And not too long off the back of that slight defensive tweak, we are going to make our first substitution. Unfortunately, Louis Herrera does look to be struggling out there today on a 6.3. That means that Stamatas Chatzakis will come on for him for this last half hour. And we go forward now to the 69-minute mark. We are going to make our last few substitutions here. Still no highlights in the second half, but Lassana Doumbia picked up a yellow card down to a red heart. Karel Giroux can come on for him. And while we're at it, Adam Saki also not playing that well on a 6.4. So I think we will bring Hercules Delfino on for him. We could bring on Fabio Mariano, but Delfino's been pretty good for us domestically so far this season. Still 2-1 and all our subs used with just under 20 minutes left. And we are just about to enter injury time here in this one. There's been no highlights so far in the second half, albeit we have upped the tempo since you were last here inside these last 10 minutes. A late free kick here for Chaka Traore, who does have an injury icon. He'll try and put this top left corner, comes off the post, unfortunately, falls to Nuno Mendes instead of one of our attackers. That was very close to being an equaliser, which I'd argue, based on XG and those highlights that we did see in the first half of that game, we probably deserve, but at least we are still in this one, only a goal down when we do go back to Iceland, but we were just a little bit sloppy there defensively in that first half and also missed some really good chances in the early stages of that half as well. Thankfully, Nicholas Zimmerman did grab a goal back right before halftime off the back of those goals to both Sukic and Vlahovic, but PSG do take an advantage into the second leg, albeit hopefully we can still turn this around, only being a goal down going back to Iceland, but we do face a deficit at the halfway stage. We are 2-1 down going into that leg. We will just come back off the back of this post-match interview and check in on that potential injury there to Chaka Traore. And unfortunately, that injury to Chaka Traore is quite a serious one. He has pulled his hamstring. We will send him to the physio. That means he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks, so is definitely going to miss the second leg of this one against PSG. So we are getting some quite big injuries, especially down that left-hand side here at the semi-final stage of this Champions League. That does mean that Jonata will be coming into the first team for Traore, and it also means we'll probably have to bring someone like Frederick Larsson onto the bench. He's a good option because he can cover both sides. His first taste of first team action in quite a while for our former captain. So we've got a few injury concerns here at Volsungur all of a sudden, but as I said, we are still in this one, 2-1 down halfway through this tie, going back to Iceland. We'll come back just before the second leg because by then we should know the other team who will be in the Champions League final, and will then take on PSG back at the Laugardasvilla. And we have gone forward just prior to the second leg against PSG. No more injuries, which is thankful, but we are still missing Boreal and Traore for the second leg. But if we do get past PSG here and turn around this 2-1 deficit, we will be playing Manchester United in the final of the Champions League. They just did enough to get over Arsenal there in that second leg and go through 4-3 on aggregate. So it could potentially be a rematch from the Club World Cup last year, which we did win. So at least it's a team which we know we can beat if we do make our way through to the final. But before then, we need to turn this around against PSG. We'll come back shortly with the team sheets and hopefully make our second final in a row from the Laugardasvilla. And here are the team sheets for the second leg. There is us, as we ran through before. It is Jonata coming in for Chaka Traore, and also Frederick Larsson makes his way onto the bench. There is PSG, looking very, very similar to what they put out, if not exactly the same as that first leg, as you'd expect, of course, with them picking up the win in that one. Hopefully we can turn this around here back in Iceland. One other thing to note, we have hit the regroup right from the start here instead of the counter press, but we are underway, trailing 2-1 as we kick this one off in Iceland. And we have to wait until the 24-minute mark for our first highlight of this one. A throw-in inside the final third. Declan Rice will clear that back out though to Levantam, so hopefully we will still be on the attack. Oh, wonderful ball there from Lassana Doumbia. Nicholas Zimmerman curves that top left corner. What an assist that from Lassana Doumbia, and just like that, about halfway through the first half of the second leg, we are back all square, locked up at 2-2. We were just holding the ball off the back of that initial throw-in. Ali Ramadan finds Lassana Doumbia a cheeky back flick, and Zimmerman lets that fly into the top left corner. It is 1-0 on the day, but we are locked up at 2-2 on aggregate. And only a few minutes off the back of that opening goal for us, we are down the other end here for a free kick to PSG. Ødegaard takes it, puts it top right corner, and just like that, our lead will disappear. It's also a double blow because Filippo Ginelli picked up a yellow card committing that foul as well. So that is a poor response after going 1-0 up. And just like that, PSG have their advantage back 3-2 on aggregate, albeit we are shown a highlight immediately from the restart. Hopefully we can get our lead straight back here from that restart. And Luis Herrera plays a nice ball over for Adam Saki, gets in behind the defence. He sits Donnarumma down, chips the goalkeeper, and we do get that goal back, and we are back on level terms very shortly after PSG regain the lead. It's a wonderful finish that from Adam Saki. We get them down the left-hand side immediately. Nice ball that from Luis Herrera, already looking like he's going to play a bit better here than he did in the first leg. And Saki, as I said, sits Donnarumma down, and it is 2-1 Volsungur on the day, 3-3 on aggregate after a half hour of the second leg. And we go forward to the 35-minute mark now. We have a corner ourselves, and Basaro Gay tries to put that top right corner, but it goes over the bar. Still all square here with just about 10 minutes left in this first half. And that is half time here in the second leg of this Champions League semi-final. We take a 2-1 lead in the half time, and that means that we are all locked up here with 45 minutes left to play. And based on the stats, it is fairly deserved lead as well. Just a little bit frustrating that we did concede that goal yet again from a set piece. A PSG doing the business against us here from set piece, but no changes needed at half time. We are still right in this one, locked up with 45 minutes left as we kick off the second half of the second leg. And only a few minutes into the second half, we do have a throw in. Louis Herrera on the left-hand side, and he plays that in for Kalen Rakasan back to Basaroge, who picked up a yellow card late there in the first half. Nice ball over there for Nicholas Zimmerman, comes off the post. Mendes will pinch the ball back. Donnarumma was rooted to the spot, but unfortunately Zimmerman couldn't quite sneak that inside the near post. Still 3-3 on aggregate, 10 minutes into the second half. And we go forward to the 77-minute mark. We're going to make our first substitution at this time. We've got a few players out there on red hearts, but most of them playing well. Kalen Rakasan, not quite so much. So Fabio Mariano can come on for him with 23 minutes left, and hopefully can help us break through here and grab the lead for the first time in this tie. And less than a minute off the back of our first substitution, there is a highlight here in the second half. It is PSG with a goal kick, and they play that out from the back. Donnarumma, he finds someone, and then Mendes, it's a poor pass though. Levan Tam is able to get us here on the counter-attack. Doumbia slots one through for Jonata. Big chance, but unfortunately can't quite get enough power on that to beat Donnarumma at his near post. We'll see if anything does come though from the subsequent corner, which Doumbia will put into the mix. Basaroge though can't get his head on the end of that. Doumbia will win possession back for us. We'll see if anything else does come from this highlight. Plays that back to Herrera. That is it, albeit very shortly off the back of that one. There is another throw, and this time on the right-hand side, and Mendes will give that straight back to Levan Tam. Zimmerman back to Basaroge and Denali, both players who are on yellow cards, and we start to make our way forward. Nicholas Zimmerman gets in behind, puts it top left corner. He is in some form over the last few rounds here of the Champions League, and the Frenchman puts us in front of PSG here for the first time in this tie. It is 4-3 on aggregate, and we are going to start to time waste off the back of that goal. You can bet your bottom dollar on that, because we want to hold on to this and make our way through to our second Champions League final. We'll also bring on Frederick Larsen for Jonata, as he has gone down to a red heart. But we'll time waste, slow the pace down for the goalkeeper in position as well, and hopefully that means that PSG don't get any more chances late in this one. We'll just save that last sub up in case Gay or Denali do pick up a second yellow card, because that could then provide a few issues for us. But that is a big goal there with only 10 minutes left. Some good short passing outside the box. Saki for Zimmerman, and just does enough there to beat Donnarumma. Puts that top left corner, and we have an advantage for the first time with only 10 minutes left in the semi-final. And we are about to approach injury time in the semi-final. Hopefully no more highlights here inside the 3 minutes of added time. We are inside the last minute. It seems like the time wasting has worked, and for the second straight season, Volsungur are in a Champions League final, and it is a rematch from the Club World Cup final. We take on Manchester United. Hopefully, at the fourth time of asking, we can finally pick up our first bit of silverware in Europe. But a very good performance there in that second leg. It needed to be, as we were a goal down going into it. A little bit of a frustrating goal we can see there in the first half from set piece. But apart from that, very good performance with 3 goals, 2 to the Frenchman himself, the former PSG man, in Nicholas Zimmerman. And he sinks his former club there. 3-1 on the day, 4-3 on aggregate. And as I said, that means that tomorrow it's another Champions League final, this time against Manchester United. And back in the inbox off the back of turning around that first leg deficit there against PSG to go through to our second straight Champions League final, getting a good bit of money for that as well. We are going to the Puskas Arena to play Man United in the final in tomorrow's episode. Second in the Premier League. We'll just check in on that shortly. It also means we've already qualified for the Club World Cup in 3 years' time, so we get the chance to defend our crown there. But hopefully we can win the Champions League and be both world and European champions at the same time. And to do that, we need to beat the team who we beat to win that Club World Cup in Manchester United. They are currently second in the Premier League, 5 points behind Man City, and they could potentially still overturn that. So that might be an interesting end to the season for those guys. Hopefully, they are still right in a title fight there until the last day of the season. So they're a little bit more tired than someone like PSG were in that semi-final. But Man United, no doubt, going to be a little bit fresher going into that game in that Champions League final than they were at the Club World Cup when that was just thick and fast action. No doubt their best players are going to be nicely rested going in to that Champions League final. But here is what Man United do look like. We're going to have to put my new logo over the top goal scorer there, seeing as he's unfortunately still in this game. I was kind of hoping he would have retired by the time that we started to play Man United regularly, Mr. 0800. But apart from him, it's a pretty decent looking team there for Man United. A few players who are currently there, the likes of Rashford and Fernandes. But it does look like they've signed a few more good young new gens who have come through this game, unlike some of those teams who we have taken on so far in this season's Champions League. So it might be a slightly stronger team than we've taken on over the past few episodes in these Champions League knockouts. Second in the Premier League, but we have already defeated Manchester City this season. We beat Man United at the Club World Cup last season. Hopefully we can do the same here and pick up our first European title against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They have won 5 Champions Leagues. 2 of those have been under the reign of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is incredibly unrealistic, but nonetheless, they won it in 2029 and 2031. And just going back to the Champions League page, off the back of seeing when Man United did win their Champions League titles, both of those times were straight after Man City won the Champions League, and of course Man City won it last season, so they might be on to do the exact same thing. Hopefully it's not scripted and we can upset things here in this year's Champions League final. No doubt we'll be the underdogs going into that one, but as I said, we beat them at the Club World Cup last season. Hopefully we can do the same here to win our first ever European title and make it the big dog in the Champions League and go one better than what we did last season. But that is what you got to look forward to in tomorrow's episode. If you enjoyed today's one, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Tomorrow, Champions League final, and before that we'll also do the end of European season roundup, and off the back of that final, check in on the coefficients and see if we're going up or down come the end of this European season. But the main goal is to win our first European title. Hopefully we can do that tomorrow. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.